So here it is, the next question. Luckless Limited went into voluntary liquidation on 31st March 2015. The balance sheet as on the date was, so here it is, liabilities, assets. On liabilities side, say share capital 6,000, 5%, cumulative preference share of rupees 100 each, fully paid 6 lakh, 50,000 equity shares of 10 each, fully paid 5 lakh, and there is also the calls in arrears of 25,000, and outer column is 4,75,000, share premium 50,000, 5% debentures 1 lakh, interest outstanding on debentures 2,500, bank overdraft 58,000, creditors, so here including preferential creditors 1 lakh 15,000. On the asset side, freehold properties 5,80,000, plant 2,89,000, motor vehicle 57,500, stock 1,86,000, debtors 74,000, profit and loss account 2,14,000. So this is all balance sheet. So next coming here, the preference dividends are in arrears from 1st April 2011. So here the preference dividend is arrears from 1st April 2007. So then what happens if the preference dividend is arrears of preference dividend from 1/4/2011 to what is the date of liquidation, that is 31st March 2015. So here 31st March 2015, that is arrears for 4 years. So what is the value of preference share? 6 lakh rupees multiplied by what is the dividend rate? 5%. For how many years it is arrears? That is 4 years. So arrears on preference dividend 1,20,000. The company article provides for payment of premium of rupees 12.50 per share along with any arrears of dividends to the cumulative preference shareholders in the events of liquidation of the company. So here they also decided to pay the premium on preference shares. So they also decided to provide the premium on preference shares. So how they are providing premium? That is number of preference shares. So here the number of preference shares 6,000 multiplied by 12.50%. So they are also given, so not percent, rupees. Per share they are given 12.50, that is 12 rupees 50 paise. The premium will be 7,500, that should be paid to the preference shareholders. So next, and payable in priority to the equity shareholders, should be paid before the equity shareholders. The bank overdraft was guaranteed by the director who duly implemented their guarantee. So here the bank overdraft was guaranteed by directors, so that should be paid. So here there is given that he will be guaranteed for the payment. Director has said that the payment of bank overdraft should be made. So here the payment of bank overdraft also should be made. So that is considered as the unsecured creditors only. That cannot be considered as secured creditors. We are not given any kind of assets or something like that for this bank overdraft. Only the guarantee by the director has been given for the payment. That's all. So the liquidators realize the assets as follows. So here property 7 lakh, plant 2,40,000, motor vehicle 5 lakh, stock 1,50,000, debtor 60,000. The calls in arrears were duly collected by them. So here they also realized the calls in arrears. It has been come to the company. So the trade creditors agreed to receive 5% less than their claim. So what is the value of creditors in the question is 1,15,000. So in that they are also given the preferential creditors of 15,000. See, creditors is 1,15,000. In this 1,15,000 they were included the 15,000 as in preferential creditors, right? So 1,15,000 minus preferential creditors, 1 lakh rupees is the unsecured creditors, or we can also take that as a trade creditors. So the trade creditor, what he has done is he has accepted to receive the money less than 5. He has accepted to receive the money and he has given a discount of 5%. So 1 lakh minus 5%, that is 1 lakh into 5,000. 5% is 5,000. 1 lakh minus 5,000, 95,000. Now the value of this trade creditor is not 1 lakh, that is 95,000. Done. So next, coming to question. So here The cost of liquidation 2,750. Liquidator's remuneration was 2.5% on total amount realized. So total amount realized means all the value that has been realized, on that they will be giving the remuneration of 2.5%, and the amount 1% on the amount payable to unsecured creditors. So see, remuneration 2.5% on the amount realized. So here is the answer for this 12th question. So here is all the amount realized on the asset side, right? So on the assets which and all realized, we will be writing on the receipt side. So total it will be 12,25,000. So 12,25,000 into 2.5% is 30,625. Next is 1% to be paid on the unsecured creditors including preferential creditors. So in the question they are not given including or excluding preferential creditors. If nothing is given, we will be considering preference share capital also for the payment of liquidators remuneration. So next, this is 15,000 worth of 15,000 is okay. 15,000 worth of preferential creditors, trade creditors 95,000 and 58,000 bank overdraft. So into 1% remuneration. So 1,680. So next, coming on to the payment side. So while payment side, liquidator remuneration, we will be writing same. Liquidator's remuneration, a 2.5% on the amount realized, we have calculated that is 30,625, and then 1% on amount paid to the unsecured creditors. So that is unsecured creditors including preferential creditors. So how to calculate that? So here, while giving the amount that is liquidator's remuneration, we are also supposed to see that is the value sufficient or not. So here in this question, value is sufficient for the payment of unsecured creditors, because here that is 12,25,000 until debenture means 1 lakh plus 2,500 plus 30,625 plus 2,750. So you will add those things also, the value will be sufficient for the payment of this two. So if it is sufficient, we will be calculating amount available into rate of percentage. So that is 1,680. So next, what we will be writing? Interest on debentures 2,500, that is given in the question, and then debenture value, that's itself 1 lakh rupees. Then coming to preferential creditors 15,000, and unsecured creditors not 1 lakh rupees, it's 95,000, we calculated in the adjustments. So next, coming on to bank overdraft, 58,000 is the bank overdraft that was there in the question, that the director has been guaranteed. So next, coming to this preference shareholders value, first we will be writing arrears of preference dividend and preference share capital. So these two were the things only we were writing. Now in this question, there is also the premium on redemption of preference share, that also should be additionally written, and equity share capital balancing figure, whatever it is there, we will be giving back to the equity share capital. So one more thing, here we don't have two classes of equity share, that so why there is no need of distribution among two equity shareholders. So any value remaining will be paid to the equity shareholders. So this is all about this question. So if you have any doubt, you can ask. So it is similar to the previous sum itself, only this premium on redemption of preference share is extra thing that you will be adding over here. That's all. Thank you.